I've seen what the future looks like. Today,
Go on.
we saw clips from Panthers practice with Andy Dalton leading the ones.
Yeah.
I know what the future looks like, and it has the red rifle at quarterback.
Woo!
Can we make sure we don't put unfair expectations on the red rifle? Can we make sure we're fair to Andy Dalton?
No, we're going Super Bowl, right?
As down as everyone is on Bryce Young, I just want to make sure that you don't think putting Andy Dalton in suddenly makes you like, I don't know, the 2000 Rams or something. It's like he's not Kurt Warner about to be an MVP is what I'm saying. Andy Dalton is stoked to start again in the NFL, and he should be. Right? It's a next man up league. For as tough as it is to watch Bryce, it should be as exciting to watch Andy Dalton. He probably thought his days leading an NFL team out there on the field, opening play, probably in the past, barring injury, and now he gets another chance. And matter of fact, he told us how excited he is at a chance to start again. He told the media, I should say, earlier this week. Sounded like this.
Really excited for this opportunity. When I came here, I wasn't sure if I was going to get another opportunity to start again, and so I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited about what's ahead, and it's a tough situation. I've been on both sides of it, and it's not hard. I mean, it's hard on everybody. So, but for me, I'm looking forward to it.
He's excited. We need to be realistic. Here's what I know about Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton has 11 years in the NFL that started a majority of his team's games. Been in the league decent amount longer than that, but 11 years he started the majority of his team's games. He has eclipsed 4,000 yards passing twice. Out of 11 years,
all right,
twice.
Okay.
Most recently in 2016 with the Bengals. Last year, 10 quarterbacks threw for at least 4,000 yards. So if you get peak pre-2016 Andy Dalton, when I don't know if you've heard of some A.J. Green you may have heard of, when he had some players out there at wide receiver, then you have like a top third of the NFL starter. Like top third in the league. That's what you get if you get peak Andy Dalton from 10 years ago. He was pretty darn good 2016 and earlier. Had some years where he was in the top 5, top 10 of certain passing stats, certain passer rating stats. He was very good a long time ago. Father Time wins all battles. I think Andy Dalton will be better than Bryce Young. I think that's a very low bar to jump over.
Kind of addition by subtraction?
That's where I think the value comes from, is just, hey, on third down, will you throw it away? Yep, every time. Perfect. Perfect. I was joking with this with Dennis off air. ESPN put out their FPI, Football Power Index. It's an algorithm, bunch of numbers. Nerds. I'm kidding.
We're not doing the math on air.
I'm not doing any math on air. They told me what the equation said. But it was 0-2 teams and their percentages to make the postseason.
Okay.
Of all the Ravens, the Bengals, the
current
Rams,
0-2 teams
current
this
0-2 teams gave a percentage that they would make the playoffs. ESPN, their FPI index or Football Power Index, gave the Panthers a 0.3% chance to make the playoffs.
Oh, that much?
I believe with Bryce, it's probably 0.1. That's the expectation of Andy Dalton. He will triple your chances of making the playoffs, but it's only 0.2%. Like, understand it's an improvement. He's a veteran. You can depend on him for a certain level of baseline play. But don't pretend this is 2014 Andy Dalton. Don't pretend you are getting somebody that is going to be the reason why you win. Set expectations realistically. The expectations are, I hope the quarterback is no longer the reason why we lose. You have to rally around your backup. My favorite analogy when it comes to backup quarterbacks is they are that little tiny donut tire that lives underneath your trunk in your SUV. Right? You blow a tire out, you take out that little donut, right? You change the tire on the side of the road, you put it in, you put it on the car, What is that tire for? Fantastic for getting you to the auto body shop.
Mm-hmm.
You can drive it across town. Probably shouldn't drive it cross country.
Nope.
To me, that's the Andy Dalton that we know right now. Quarterback blows a tire. Your starting quarterback, if he's living up to expectation, pops or tweaks a hammy, breaks a thumb, needs three weeks, needs 4 weeks to get ready.
Mm-hmm.
You put Andy Dalton in, he'll drive you to that gas station, man. He'll take you that month. He'll win 2 games. It'll be fantastic. You'll come back, maybe even in the same place in your division standings as when your starter got hurt. Way to go, Andy. You start starting him 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15 games consecutively.
Can't take the highway on that one.
You're trying to go to California on your little donut tire. That's the expectation you need to have, and I think that's fair. He threw for 361 yards in his one start last year against the Seahawks.
58 pass attempts.
That's the part no one mentions. 361 yards. Wow, that's a ton. Took him a boatload of attempts. It's funny. I was looking at kind of the Andy Dalton statistics, obviously, right? I was looking up how many times he had achieved certain milestones. 361 yards is the 12th most yards he ever threw for in a game. His start last year with the Panthers, top 12 single-season yardage total for him. He's been a starter for at least 11 years. The passer rating wasn't anywhere near the top. It was just pure volume play, right? It's. Have you ever heard somebody say, like, if I got in an NBA game, I could average 10 points. If I wasn't worried about winning, I was just worried about scoring, I would average 10 points. I go, yeah, but I'm taking 57 shots to get there.
Yep.
As soon as I walk across half court, I'm firing.
I need about 30 free throws here.
That's Andy Dalton's 361 yards last season. I'm going to get 360. I might average 4 yards an attempt, but I'm going to get 360. He's Andy Dalton. We know what Andy Dalton is. Don't build him up to be a superhero. I think that might be the best thing for Bryce Young also. I think the longer you just kind of sit on the bench, people tend to remember the good and forget the bad. You see it you see it with guys like Mitch Trubisky, right? Mitch Trubisky loses his starting job. Sorry, UNC fans. He just goes backs up Josh Allen. You don't really see him for a while. The Steelers are like, he was good, right? Let's bring him in. Let's give him some starts. And it's like time, I guess, just makes it feel better. Andy Dalton hasn't, and most recently, right, hasn't been the best. But he sat out a couple years, and now all of a sudden it's like, I think he's way better than anything else we have.
By the way, Tristan said that Dalton will average 10 more points a game for the Panthers.
So what are we looking at? 17 a game?
There we go.
Because 13 through, so a little less than 17. That's on-air math that I think I nailed. Ha! Take that. Maybe. I'm not even going to argue with you. Maybe he might average 10 more points. But I don't know if that's as much because Andy Dalton or if it's just removing a quarterback that had his confidence absolutely sapped allows you. It's like found money, right? Like they probably should have been averaging 10 more points a game, but Bryce was acting as a negative based on the way that his confidence had been dropping. So putting Andy Dalton in, it's like, oh, Andy Dalton's here. He's going to average. He's going to drive. It's like, well, actually, he's just not going to cost you any.
Exactly. Addition by subtraction.
Just the one thing I don't want to have happen is have Andy Dalton put up 17 points this week, complete 60% of his passes, don't have any out there wild and crazy throws. You might lose the game and have people going, oh, Andy. I'm going like, that's exactly what you want from Andy. Andy is the donut tire out there. You just want him to keep the car on the road. Hopefully someone else for you can win it. He's just trying to not crash. That's the expectation we need to have.